Chargebacks, returns, and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're a pain. What can we do? High selling fees, bad buys and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more.
Well, hello everyone. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I do apologize, sincerely apologize for the snafu in the live. I mean, it's what's new, right? So I'm just going to just roll with it and just try to do better next time. Having a bad day, and I think we all have bad days, and I'm just going to try to do the best that I can to make the day better and not get so upset at myself because of my failures like I'm doing right now. So, but, well, let me just say this. The show, we're talking about taxes. I mean, I'm not a CPA. I'll just put that out there right now. And it's the one thing that I dread doing year round. I just so much, it feels unproductive. You know, you're going through, you're getting data ready, whether you use a CPA or not. Now, I don't. I like to do my taxes myself. Been doing them since being an adult. Something that I don't want to say I enjoy doing, but I feel like maybe it's because I have the control over what's going on. I don't want to be subjected to maybe someone else's mistake or oversight or something like that. So I do take my time, and I'm very, I'm very focused on trying to make sure that I have all the information that I have. I have my gum in my mouth, so I apologize for that. But focusing on just trying to get everything right, because the last thing you want to do is make a mistake on your taxes. And it literally takes me hours and hours. I mean, I take maybe when I spent this last month of March, and I had my little golf trip, so it took time away from that. A couple hours a day whenever I had time to try to get stuff together, to all the data and make a spreadsheet, and kind of want to give you some kind of an idea of what I do without showing you exactly all my numbers and everything, because I don't really want to show all my numbers. Let's see if I can pull that up here. So this is kind of what I do. Let's see if I can show you here, because I do want to give you some idea of kind of how I do this. Different accounts, and you know, you try to keep all the business on one account, but that's just for me. It's not always feasible, not possible. So I'm going and line by line going through all the accounts to make sure that I haven't missed anything, nothing snuck through the cracks. And it does take a lot of time, and it took me literally over 4 hours to file, because I wanted to, and the word I was looking for earlier was meticulously trying to go through each and everything to make sure, because I know in the past that I've forgotten things. Like I come back and go, oh man, I forgot to put this deduction, and that's not the end of the world. It's more of a problem when you forget to put your income, and that's when you can get yourself into trouble. Volume is low. You know what's funny? I went in and I fixed this thing. The computer, what took me so long to reboot is the computer wanted me to go back in, and I'm going to try to set this up here real quick. It wanted me to go in, and it said I was using my video. I'm going to try that. So hopefully that helps. I bumped my volume up to 100%. So hopefully that helps you guys hear me. So yeah, it's really about preparation, and my thing is, it's always a tedious task to get the preparation done, and I don't care how organized you are through like an Excel spreadsheet, it does take a lot of time and effort. And so I guess what I want to know is, have you guys filed your taxes? And if so, how long did it take you? Did you spend a lot of time getting ready and prepping? And if not, are you ready? Do you have all your data together? Because I don't care if you're using a CPA, if you're doing it yourself. Certainly, you're going to have to present them with some information. Now, I used to utilize like GoDaddy bookkeeping. I think there's like another similar company out there that allows you to link all your accounts and stuff. I think it's like Seller Ledger or something like that. I have not really checked it out, to be honest with you. But what I do have is, and they are a sponsor of the channel, is my reseller Genie. For the last couple months, what I haven't done is I haven't gone in there and messed with it for last year's taxes. I was kind of halfway going to do that, but I decided let's just finish the process that we're used to doing, and then a clean slate. We're going to do this method with my reseller Genie, and what we're going to do is we're just going to be on top of it. So we're going to stay on top of it throughout the year, putting expenses as maybe going to do like a reconciliation every month, and that way when we get to the end of the year, we're not, because that's the biggest thing. I mean, I don't mind doing the taxes, spending 3 to 4 hours, make sure it's done right, but it's all those other hours that I'm spending looking through all the accounts, and it's certainly not my best time of year. And now that's behind me, I can focus on the business and all the other things. And so yeah, so I want to know if you guys have some tips, some tax tips that you would share, maybe some go-to tips as a reseller that you'd maybe share with anyone else. I do think though that there might come a time where I might just turn this over to a CPA, if I'm being honest with you. As far as my account, like I normally do, I want to share how we're doing. I've been shut out today. So if we're looking at now, if we're talking numbers, last year I think I filed my papers away, my 1099. A little bit over $140,000 on this account in gross sales, and on the other account it was just a shade under 20,000 in gross sales. So we're looking to exceed that, and of course that's not what you make. That's what money. Hold on. Why is Jenna calling me for? Hold on. Yes, honey. Ah, it's not? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go. I'm on a live. Okay, bye. Bye. So apparently my sound doesn't work when I'm sharing the screen, so I apologize for that. $35,768.03 is what I made, what I'm making right now this year, and I have 474 sales. That's up. That's down 8.3%, and at $75.46 ASP. And I can't show you that because apparently when I do show you that, it doesn't, my volume isn't working correctly. So I don't know, guys. I have not changed the setting on this thing, and it just doesn't want to function with me. So I don't know how long I'm going to do. I don't know how long I'm going to do this live, to be honest with you, because I'm just so frustrated at myself right now. And I really am amazed that you guys have stuck with me in just not only being here the first time, but putting up with the delay and I apologize. So just not very happy with myself right now. But now let's see who we have. We have Flip It Goods with us, and this is the part that makes me really happy that I can see you guys. And I know this is where a lot of people tune out of the program, and I'm sorry. I just didn't have time to prepare the way I wanted to prepare, and I lost everything on my screen when I had to reboot for this live. So this is the way it is. But Flip It Good says happy Friday. Callie Debs says hello again. John, Jenna, and chat. Nice to see you, Callie Debs. We have Keith. Hi again. And then Basket Noodles with us. Kind of early this time, but I guess maybe by the time I got started, you rolled in here. Deck the halls with chicks named Holly. Fa la 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 la. Wish I could sing today. Callie Debs waiting for upbeat intro, and then Henri Squaw says howdy again. Let's see. Mark Sudick says hello. Is the live working for anyone? Not working for me. Well, hopefully it's working for you. It wasn't working for me, obviously. And I even took the steps. I got everything ready, and I took the packages outside. No FedEx delivery today. Put a little sign on the door so they don't ring the doorbell. No one here to answer the door. So gotta love technology. And it took me another 5 minutes to get back online because, of course, I went to go to reboot and it says, well, we're to update your computer. Bad time. Wouldn't even give me the option to do that. So again, my apologies. Jovial says it's National 8-Track Tape Day. I haven't never owned an 8-track player or had an 8-track tape, but yeah, I heard those had horrible sound quality. Basket Noodle says, me too. I almost ate my arms with cheese on it, Jenna. See if I had a lot of technical stuff with this. I don't know, guys. I really don't. I'm very discouraged right now, if you guys can't tell. Midnightica says, happy flippin' Friday, y'all. Nice to see you. You Want You Need says, hey, John and Jenna and FAA fam. I hope you have all had a great week. I haven't been feeling good. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't slept very well. I feel my health just falling away from me, and I hate to say that. With this health insurance we have, I don't even get to get in and see anyone for a checkup until May. I think that's my appointment, so it's just very discouraging. Ping G says, happy Friday to John and Jen in the chat. Nice to see you, Ping G. Yeah, it's this computer. I put it on my computer, but you know what? Shame on me for not making a test run. I just didn't give myself time to do it. Bear's with us. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. CW Trading says, my wife is a CPA, so I have one built in for my business. That's it. That's the way to go. One of my plans to do is to enlist Jenna to go in and do the book work, do the updating on. I guess we're going to do My Reseller Genie. I showed you guys what it looked like. For those of you who didn't see it, it has a lot of good features where you could put in all your expenses, your inventory, all the things, and it'll do the updates for you. It even has a Schedule C generator if you want to have that information for your CPA or whatever. And for me, just go in and you would, like I use TurboTax, so I would just go through TurboTax and answer their questionnaire, but you'd have that information with you. And cool thing is, they sponsor the channel. I believe it's a 15% off your first month if you click the link in the description box to check it out. And I know it's kind of late for tax season, but it's never too early for next year's tax season. So if you don't have a CPA in your house, certainly this is the next best thing, and that's My Reseller Genie. So go check that out. Spam Banshee's with us. Nice to see you, Spam. And then Derek W. Pat says, hi, FA fam. Hope everyone is doing well. Doing really good. I guess I'm here. I guess that's good enough. We have a guest on tomorrow on the Profit Playbook podcast. I was going to just not say anything, but I am kind of excited about it. He's making his return back to the podcast, and that is Kevin Commonwealth Picker. And we had a really good conversation. I mean, it's one of those conversations where we try to keep the podcast to an hour, and it went over by like 20 minutes. That's how good of a conversation we had. So hopefully you guys tune in tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, to check that out. We have Chastity with us. Nice to see you, Chastity. Trying to catch up to this thing here. Says, Chastity says, I did my own taxes before reselling. Hired a CPA my first year as a reseller. He did not know what he was doing. Figured it out myself and have done it my own taxes since. Yeah, it's not rocket science, but you have to know that, again, disclaimer, I'm not a CPA. Do not take my tax advice. But everything that you spend in towards the business is something that can be used to write off towards the business, not to write off your own, to replace your standard deduction thing. That's not it. Like if you donate or, you have write-offs for your personal. For me, I'm not a LLC. I'm a sole proprietor. So my taxes are combined. My business and the personal are all in one. So when I'm reporting what I earned for the business, these are all deductions that are deducted from what your gross earnings are. So like when I tell you, I made $140,000 on this account for gross, that's the gross end of it. Now, all the things that you do, all the way from, your supplies to your cost of goods to your shipping labels to your eBay fees and all those things, they do deduct from that number to create your profit, which is what you're taxed on. And so then the program determines how much, based on the scale, you have to pay in taxes based on you make on that amount. So it's fairly simple, but the first few years, if you decide to do it on your own, the first couple years are probably going to be just a nightmare until you figure it out and start understanding what it wants. Let's see. Caleb says, I filed my taxes out a month ago. I tracked mine with my own spreadsheets and found that it is much easier than using a program. Now, so like a program like my Reseller Genie, and that's just it. For everyone, it's a little different. I'm kind of old school, so for me, plugging in my spreadsheet, I have all the tax numbers when FedEx batch charges me in batches for, like 2 to 3 times a week for all the shipments that we do. It's easier for me to kind of follow and then go in and add that information. Now, when you're entering in your numbers in like a program like Tax Act or TurboTax, you can go in and give a summary. So like I'll do one line for FedEx labels for the entire year. So how much did I spend on FedEx labels for the entire year? And maybe I'll do pirate ship. I'll have another line for that. And it's using the spreadsheet that kind of allows me to tally all that stuff up. Heavy Chevy Guy says, what do you do if you didn't keep track of your supplies expenses? Well, thankfully, I have my little receipt holder here that I do put receipts on the occasion. Almost every one of these, though, have a digital record. So this is more of kind of a reminder, even though I can probably go in and figure out, okay, this is what that's for. But the good news is most of your records are going to be digital, is on through a card. Now, if you paid cash, like at a yard sale, you do have a digital record in most cases. For instance, if you pulled out money from the ATM, and then you should have. I keep it in my car, so I don't have it here with me. But it's like a little notebook where you maybe write down what you took out and what you spent on your items that day at the yard sale. Maybe line by line, maybe take an inventory of what you bought and what you bought it for, and then you keep that. If there's ever a need to call you out on it, you have it. I mean, that's kind of all you can do as a reseller, is to keep detailed records if you buy at yard sales. Now, for me, I think maybe we went to the yard sale like 6 or 7 different weekends, so it's not a whole lot of data. But for somebody who goes like maybe twice a week, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, and you do that half of the year, depending on your weather, it's a lot of data to keep track of. And I find that you do it as you go. So when you get home and you're about to pull everything out of your car, it's a good time to review, what did I buy? To kind of see how well you did. And while you're at it, just file that away in your tablet or notebook, and keep that aside for your records when you need it at the end of the year. Let's see. Yes, I had to get the taxes done. I had no choice. I certainly don't want to wait until the last minute. That's stressful. It's like, oh man, I mean, I took enough time away from the business to get the data together. I mean, I took that much time to get it done. Chad says, I organize my numbers throughout the year, so it only takes me a few hours to do my taxes. I will step away for a day or two and then come back with fresh eyes to make sure I didn't miss a thing. Sometimes you do need to take a break and step away. You're looking at the screen, you get tired after like 3-4 hours of it. It's like, okay, I've got to take a break. Yeah, I realize there's something wrong with my setup here. And my thing is, I could go back to StreamYard. I guess I could. It would save me a headache. I really feel like maybe this OBS Studio, there's a lot of features that I like about it that we don't have. We quite don't have. We got someone doing something crazy here. We got Derek. Oh man, buddy. I appreciate it. You guys, the fact that you guys are here, forget the super chats and stuff. The fact that you guys are here is what means everything to me. I mean, I have done absolutely nothing today within setting this live stream up to warrant anyone being here. So it just, for you to even be here, let alone send a super chat, I certainly appreciate that. And yeah, it may seem like I'm beating myself up, but I am, because you know what? I expect a lot more from myself and than this. So I apologize to you guys. But according to Derek, says, maybe this will brighten up your day. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your ups and downs in this business. Appreciate you guys. I've learned a lot already. Can't wait to see what the future holds. So that's awesome. And I'd like to know more about your business. I know that you're fairly new to the channel, at least being in the chat, and certainly would like to know more about your business, and maybe we can get you on one of these member lives where we kind of dive deeper into our stores and that. I was going to do one on Wednesday, and it was just so crazy. That's when I filed, actually. It was Wednesday. It's like, there's no way I'm getting time. So let's shoot for this coming Wednesday, the next week, whatever date that is. My calendar's not popping up on this thing. So let's shoot for that, and let's see if we can get together. If you're not a member, it's like $2.99 a month. I know that we have about 40 to 50 members right now, and I kind of like it that way, where it's a smaller group, because people don't want to come forward and show their stores and to really, get involved in best practice conversation, because they don't want their store out there for the world to see, like on a regular live stream. So it's a very, very condensed format, and it I think is very educational. I'm learning a lot of things, so by just through the conversation with you guys and looking at other stores and saying, oh, look at this, is how they're doing this. This is interesting. So join me. I will try to get that on Wednesday for a members only live. But again, thank you, Derek. I appreciate you, buddy. Let me go up here. And of course, I miss my wife. That doesn't help either when she's not here. And I know she's doing the thing that she has to do. Unfortunately, she was coming back on Sunday initially, but her sister's not having a good time right now with things after her surgery, so she's gonna be gone another week, and so that's just it is what it is. I mean, I can't have an opinion on that. Let's see. Yeah, Bear, I know I freeze a lot on my camera. Yeah, it's one thing after another. In fact, after we're done with the show, I'm going to go spend about $500 on a new one, because I'm just done with it. What makes you flip says, when you clicked on the spreadsheet, there was no sound. Yeah. I'll have it right next time, guys. I apologize. I'm going to get past some of these. I know that's why Jenna called me. Hopefully you guys can hear me now, though. Vasco says, we're here for you emotionally, John. I appreciate you guys. I mean, the fact that you're even here and even have gone through this nonsense. I got to be honest with you. I'm not patient enough to deal with that. I mean, maybe it's because I have too much to do, but yeah, it's very difficult for me to watch just nonsense happening, and that's kind of all I've given you guys today. So I'm sorry. Rob Something filed his extension, and that's good. I think my buddy, I was asking him, he is the one that runs a trucking company, and I think, he told me that they filed an extension, and I'm like, no. I think that puts you on a radar. Maybe it makes you more susceptible for an audit. I mean, I got a lot of stuff on these spreadsheets, so I'm not quite concerned about that. But it's just having to deal with that. And what happens if you forget something? I don't want to have any problems with the IRS. We did have that one problem a few years ago, back in 2019, where I didn't really forget. In their mind, I forgot to, or I failed to provide W-2s. Actually, I think they're 1099s that we just didn't know we had. So, nonetheless, lesson learned on that. Spam is 200 messages on eBay? That's a lot. You guys need to get on top of that. Or maybe you're looking at my account. I don't have 200 messages, do I? No, that wasn't me. Chastity got a sale about an hour ago. Sold some underwear to a repeat buyer. They liked your underwear so much that they went and bought some again. Do me a favor. Hit the like button if you like this live stream. If you enjoy the content, you will get a sale. I'm that confident. Even though I haven't gotten a sale today because I haven't even hit my own like button. You will get a sale within the next 24 hours. I'm going to put it out there towards you. So hit that like button and get your sale. Let's see. Baskin Noodle says that's what her name Mel Booksees in Australia. She said she did $60 selling books Q1. That's horrible. I know she's done very well with books. It just may be that I am a firm believer that when things are kind of crazy with the economy, that certain things don't sell so well, and it's hard to figure out sometimes. Let's see. Tess Cooks for You says spreadsheet monthly with rows for date, item, title, amount sold, amount purchased, final fee, promotion fee, ship costs, refunds, and end row would be profit. 2 other rows for where we purchased and when. Yes. The spreadsheet, if you're a member of the Discord, that's another place you can go to and get, there's usually someone there that can maybe interact with you and answer some questions. But we have a spreadsheet, the spreadsheet that I've used for many years, I've uploaded in case you just don't want to do like a My Reseller Genie, or you just want a way to start. And it's kind of a cool spreadsheet that will allow you to go in and put all your inventory in one worksheet, and then once you hit yes that you've listed it, it'll move that listing to a listed spreadsheet, and then once you've sold it, it'll move it to the sold, where you enter in all your information, like your cost of goods and maybe the promoted listing fee, your final value fee, and all that, and it calculates what you made profit-wise, and it does a running total and all that. So it's a cool little spreadsheet. Doesn't cost anything. Go over and check it out if you want to try to download it. Yes, Chastity, I do realize technical issues happen, but it happens way too often to my liking. I'll tell you that. We have Wendy's Wandering Books and more. Says hi. Hope everyone is well. Nice to see you, Wendy. Thank you for being here. Coppercat says, I expect 2 sales. I like the first try, and now this one. Yes, we'll get you one at least. I can promise you that. We have Keith says, well, John, they say if the shirt fits, wear it, and that's just another reason why you're struggling. Your co-star is still away, so your shirt is right. So don't stress. We got you. I thank you for that, buddy. Yes, the shirt fits. That's why I wore it, by the way. I wore it, and I'm like, you know what? I'll wear that shirt today. Yeah, it's okay. It happens, but I'm I don't want to say a perfectionist, but I expect things to happen, right? But it just seems like it's a comedy of errors when I get behind this camera. TikTok says, appreciate all your efforts on this wonderful Friday. Yes, I appreciate that. No worries, John. It's all good. Bear says, sales are dead. Hate to hear that. At least I got good news from eBay. My order was delivered on time to Spain, so I'll get the funds fast in 2 days. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, you know, like for me, no sales today. Once I'm done here, I've got a few things I need to do. I've got to do a little laundry and some dishes, the things that you normally don't deal with, but I need to get that done. And then I'm going to get back and get some stuff listed, more stuff listed than I listed earlier today. I just got to keep grinding, and that's what I'm going to do. CW Trading says, hang in there. We all have bad days. A lot of time you help us focus on what is actually important, so I hope you have a better night and great weekend. I'm still going to hang in here with you. I appreciate that, CW Trading. I certainly appreciate that. And I don't want to bawl or go into tears, so I will hold back. Baskin Noodle says, I went for a blood testicle today to make sure I can't get mumps, measles. They asked me if I've driven an import car within the last 6 months. What? That's insane. Happy Friday, John. Thanks for being here, Devon. Nice to see you. And Jovia says, kids and adults can enjoy Easter a little more this year as Easter falls on 4/20. A little grass in the basket, a little grass in the bowl. See, I practice Easter every time I go play golf. And I say that because I'm always looking for... they're not eggs, but they look like eggs. Golf balls in the trees and the bushes, because half the time that's where we end up. And I am a firm believer that all this stuff about hunting for Easter eggs when we were a kid was to get us ready for the game of golf. TikTok says, not feeling so good. Try a 1-day fast to clean out your system. Yeah, I think I've made one meal here in the last 2 weeks. It's been all just go pick up something or have something delivered or something. It's not healthy at all. Callie says, I have used a few different programs and none of them did it right. You can always try a program like My Reseller Genie, and I'd show you the screenshot, but it would cut out my mic for some stupid reason, so we won't do that. And I think what happened, why this is happening, I set up my mic on the main before I got the second stream going, but this thing updated my computer, some kind of update, and it had my webcam with the mic, the volume, and I didn't set up my second screen to make that change. So I think that's what's happening. But going back to what I was saying, My Reseller Genie is a clean format, and I guess I could have gone through and said, okay, just start over, go back and get all your numbers put in here. But it will be that way for next year, and it's going to give me a better idea of how well I'm doing by being able to look at the graphs with all my numbers in here and my expenses. It'll tell me how well I'm doing, better so than even my other spreadsheet. You Need Gifts, Goods, and Books says, hey John, you're allowed to have times like this. You do so many great videos, and honestly I think this is the first time I've seen this happen in a year and 6 months of watching and on and off. We got you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it has happened a little bit. And my friend Scott, Bearded Picker, will probably point to the fact that, you and your OBS studio, and it's the idea of, do I want to spend $50 a month on what I think is kind of subpar as compared to what really can be done if I get it right with this OBS studio. So I'm going to keep trying the OBS studio for unless I run into just more mega problems. But I think a lot of it, like I'm getting stuck on my camera. It's going to be an upgrade on the camera. After we're done here, I'm going to be buying a better one. I thought a gaming camera like the Razrs, like the Razr Pro, would be pretty good, but I guess it's not up to par for what I'm trying to do. Let's see. Consignment Chat says, popped in to say hi, and this chat is wild. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for popping in and helping making it even more wild. I certainly appreciate that. And I'm telling you, I really, of all the iPhones that I've had, this iPhone 15, I really cannot stand it. just not. I don't get half my texts from Jenna and all that stuff. Let's see. Duncan wants to know, can I deduct KFC from my business expenses? No, you can't. But I can tell you that KFC might be part of my problem. I did have KFC this week. Tess cooks for you. The self-employment tax is the kicker. Yep. I can tell you that I am sitting on an ice pack right now because of what we had to pay for taxes. So I'll just say that. So Short Coin says, this week has Cricket's first time in a month. Finally got a sale today. Wow, first time in a month. Well, hit that like button. Let's get another one for you. Basketball says, I get $1,700 a month for sitting on my fanny bum. And how is that? Just you saying for reselling? Because there's a lot more than sitting on your butt with reselling, I tell you that. Keith says, yeah, eBay's been slow for me this week. Last week, a few others I've spoke with said it's been slow for them also. Yeah. And then just for Duncan, his FEA membership is $29.99 a day. But that's because of the conversion rate in Australia. TikTok says, prayers for your sister, Jenna. Extra vitamin C speeds healing. Yes. Keith says, Jenna, it's okay to take as long as you need. Family's important. We got you. Hope your sister's feeling better soon. And that's essentially what I told her. Of course, the initial response is a little disappointment. Like, what's going on with her sister is disappointing. And so I said, look, I mean, there's no other option. You're going to need to stay. And so they changed her flight. Baskin says, in collecting social anti-security, I've quickly realized I should have been working for a business programming instead of freelancing back when. Yeah, that's the thing. If you just do flipping or reselling or gig work, you're not really building a retirement of any kind for yourself. Thankfully, I have my railroad retirement, a little bit of a management pension. They kind of cut that off after like 4 or 5 years of me being in management, and that stinks, but it still will pay a little bit. But I don't get to collect that until mid 60s, and I'm not anywhere close to mid 60s. Even though I feel like I'm mid 60s, I'm not anywhere near there. And yes, do a Schedule C as a sole proprietor. Exactly. Cool thing about a program like TurboTax or one of those tax programs, they know. They'll ask you the questions, and you answer the questionnaire, and they know to file a Schedule C for you. Let's see here. Stock markets got crushed this week with tariffs. People don't want to spend money, and I think that's just it. People are not sure. But I got to tell you, if the tariffs is a long-term thing, I mean, what are we talking, like 145% tariffs on Chinese goods? That tells me that if there's anything that you need or you think you're going to need, maybe right now is the time to go out and buy it before things really get a lot more expensive. It's something to think about. Mike Sellers says, greetings from Ranger and Mike. Taxes are done. That was a relief on my shoulders. Yeah, I didn't like paying what I had to pay, but I don't have to think about it anymore. Now, I can do myself a solid and as for part of my process every month, make sure that my monthly information throughout the year is in my program here, and then it's just like, okay, I guess I'm ready to file once I get all my documentation. TikTok says, cannot wait to start selling, waiting a few more months while I downsize. So you're trying to get rid of a lot of things. Are you donating? Are you yard sales? How are you doing that? I did a yard sale. I don't know if you guys know this. I think I talked about it on Monday. I did a yard sale on last Saturday, and I got to tell you, the only thing I really accomplished was I was able to find stuff that might be good for live selling, like through Whatnot, and or maybe I might do a dib-dit live, just depending on how that thing shakes out. But at some point, I was thinking about maybe even trying to do one tomorrow. That still could be in the cards. If I do, I'll probably do a pop-up live to let you guys know ahead of time before I go on. TikTok says, we'll start in July or August for fall. Buying farmland right now to start an off-grid setup. Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting. prepping ain't easy, that's for sure. Devon says, John, my husband travels a lot. It's hard. It can be hard. I if you're like, for instance, I kind of feel bad for even going on my golf trip. Putting 4 or 5 days on Jenna like that to run the business. We got these dogs that love them to death, but they're very needy at times. Like, I'll be working in here, have my door open, and my dog will come up and he'll just sit there and stare at me. And so after a minute, I look back and I stare at him and I'm like, what? And he'll like look at me and he'll bark and he'll like. I have the door open. They have a doggy door. They can go outside and go to the bathroom. So I don't know. I think he wants me to go out and play and stuff, but it's like, I don't got time. Baskindoodle says, Confucius say, be patient with computers, or computers will make a patient of you. And that's what took me, so long to get started on the second stream. I wasn't going to rush it, so I'm, more comedy bears. I want to make sure everything was set, but I didn't think about the other screen being not having any volume. So we'll refrain from showing the other screen. TikTok says, great, Montana way too cold for me. I'm close to Chesapeake Bay, Virginia. USDA zone 7B never really gets below 20 degrees and that not very often. So we're starting to really heat up here. I think we're around 90 degrees today. And it's going to start getting a little bit more a little warmer out in the garage, maybe more difficult to stay out there for longer periods of time. Yes, you get one, because the first stream I had to go and delete. That doesn't count. So that was a mulligan that I took. Jovial says, just an FYI, be sure to save receipts this year unless Congress extends the TCJA Act. It expires this year. The standard deduction will drop from $15,000 single through $30,000 joint to $83.50 and $16.7. Well, that's no good. I don't think that's going to hold. I think they're going to do something with taxes here. I really do think that something's going to happen. My hope, and maybe this is just a pipe dream, is that there's a just get rid of the IRS completely. Just get rid of it altogether. TikTok says books are tough. There are so many. Yeah, I wouldn't sell books. I have some comic books that Craigslist Hunter sent me. That said, try them out. See how they'll do. And there's some comps on them for like $20. They're hardback comic books, but haven't really sold anything. Sold those. Let's see. Mic volume is really low still. I don't know, Bootleg Craig. This is one of those live streams that I wish I could redo, but it's at full max, so I'll just try to get a little louder if I can. Flipping for the trailers says, damn, I hope I get a sale. It's been a terrible this week. It's been really slow for me, if I'm being honest with you. Paul Rose says, John, you really are too hard on yourself. Anyone who has followed your channel, don't think anything badly of you when the gremlins get in the mix, honestly. No, I appreciate that, but it's just not a good look. It's not a professional look. It's not something you see on most live streams. Most live streams have their shit together, and I've got to do that because it's goes along the lines of what I've said. I'm either going to make this channel work in 2025 or I'm just not going to do it. And you guys are what keeps me here. So just want to thank each and every one of you guys. TikTok says, I think tech is really going backwards, getting too complicated. I mean, it's just not. It shouldn't be complicated. You turn it on and the light either comes on or it doesn't. So I really think if you're thinking about buying Razer products, don't do it. They're not very good. Derek W. Pat says, I got a Vero yesterday. Lego claiming that the minifigures that I was selling was Lego, but they're not Lego. And I don't mention Lego in my title or description. I'm confused. Interesting. So nowhere in the, did you use any kind of a Lego image or, very, very interested. I'd love to see your store. Let's see, Real Timeless Bear says, I got a sale 5 hours ago from a repeat customer, and then he is in the USA, pushed the like button 5 hours ago in my dreams, LOL. Now, how does that work for you, Bear, if you're in Japan and you're shipping to the US on a sale? Are there any kind of tariffs or any kind of fees that the buyer has to pay or you have to pay. Yeah, Josh is here. Thanks for being here, buddy. Taxes. Yeah, you had yours done quite some time ago, but thankfully it's all done here. That's one less thing that I have to think about now. And time. It's about time. Getting the time back. So how do I improve that for 2026 or 2025's taxes? And I really do think that having some kind of a process where I'm not waiting until the end of the year and then I'm playing, okay, get all the data together to do the taxes. You do that throughout the year, and it's just, it takes a lot of the stress out. Yes, don't forget to watch tomorrow's PPP, and I already spoiled the special guest, Josh, but it was a great conversation, and one that I will probably be listening to again because it was that good. And my screen just went down there. Okay, so trying to follow the chat here, but Vasco says, how beefy is the PC? I mean, I have a pretty decent computer. I mean, you could probably play some pretty decent games on here if you're a gamer. I'm not a gamer, but I figure if you have the peripherals in the computer that will allow you to game, then you have a powerful enough computer to do the basic stuff like do a live stream. Bootleg Craig says, I pay taxes quarterly and I still had to pay $9,500 this month. Wow. Now, is that, you make your quarterly payments and then when you did your taxes, you still had to pay an additional $9,500? Chassis says, try something like miniature building block figure instead. Yeah, kids play blocks. I don't know. Would love to see that listing. Let's see here. Kelly says, sales have been steady here. That's good to hear. I mean, look, I can't complain. I tried to show you guys. I have no sales today. $281 yesterday, $352 on Wednesday, $241 on Tuesday, $554 on Monday. When I look at my performance sales for the month, I just let it do its thing. It says that I am up 63% versus the prior time period, which would be February 12th to March 11th, I believe. So what the heck? I mean, I can't complain about that. So things are fine. My goal is to continue to have decent days and no 0 days. So I'm going to try to, after we're done, I'm going to really get out there and hopefully generate some sales by getting more items listed. TikTok says, modified carnivore diet and no junk. I'm 67 and feel like 40. That's awesome. That sounds really good, by the way, carnivore diet. I need to get out and exercise. I just don't do enough exercising, and golf ain't it. I need to really spend, a half an hour to an hour of just solid, every other day of solid exercise. TikTok ordered from Temu 2 weeks ago, and how did that go? Were the prices a lot higher? Did they promise you, a 2-week turnaround time or longer? I couldn't imagine going on to Temu and trying to order anything right now. I'd be too afraid that I'd never get it. Callie Deb says, people from China used to sell sterling silver bracelets for $1, free shipping. Suddenly after tariffs, they're selling those from Japan and India. You notice that? A lot of sellers, like in the case for Bear is in Japan, and I'm not telling you he's in China, but he's up against these sellers who are representing themselves as Japanese sellers when they're really in Japan. And so, I was looking at one of these stores, I think, not sure the name, but they were selling Disney, supposed to be Disney Tokyo stuff. And they're selling it like they had like this popcorn holder, it was like Winnie the Pooh, and they're selling for $40 free shipping to the US from Japan. That's not possible to me. It's not possible. But yet they had a bunch of things like that, and it had to have been someone from China selling, like knockoffs or something, and getting the really super cheap shipping. TikTok is donating to DAV every 2 weeks. No yard sales, too much effort, and not enough money. What's DAV? Problem is, America has always been a bit dictatorial in world finance, but not in your face ways, and that is going to cost the long term dearly. I guess we're going to see how this whole thing plays out. This, I guess it's a game of chicken with China. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into something more than what it is. Let's just hope that it stays in the economic world and not anywhere else. Daisy says, please increase volume if possible. Set all my volume settings to the highest setting, and you still cannot hear me. That is amazing to me. I don't know what to say, because I'm looking at all my system sounds here, and it is maxed out at 100. I could probably put my gain a little higher, so hopefully that'll help. We'll get it squared away. Again, I'm sorry, Daisy. We'll get this done right the next time. Devon says, my fur babies drive me nuts. Mine do, and it's when they get outside, and lately they want to be outside more than ever in the backyard, and they just go out there and they bark. It's like, what the heck are you barking at? Callie Deb says, John, we have you beat with the heat today. We're a few degrees higher than Vegas. Yeah, it's only April. It's not supposed to be hot yet. Happy Reality, Passion Happy says, hope to eliminate tax. Let's get rid of the IRS. I mean, to me, if the government can find a way to make money doing this thing with tariffs, and I know that that's debatable. I'm not going to debate that. But if it's possible to make money off of tariffs to get rid of the Internal Revenue Service altogether, I'm the first one for it. Frank Costanza, do you pay estimated quarterly? We do pay estimated quarterly, but it's usually not quite enough. Kind of underpay, I think. I'm always pulling out money from the account that they send the payments to a savings account, so that I have it, so I'm not scrambling. You should. That's one bit of advice I'd give somebody, is if you get your deposits. Now I don't know what percentage you should pull, because I don't pay state sales tax. We don't pay that in Nevada, but you should figure out approximately what percentage that you pay, federal and state, and maybe even pull a 1 or 2 percentage points higher than that aside every time you get a payment from your taxes, or from your eBay account or your other accounts. Daisy says, only your videos are very quiet for the most part. Sometimes they sound okay, but very often they're very quiet. We're going to work that out, Daisy. I'm going to get that straightened out, because I don't like hearing that. I want to be able to make, not just come on here and make videos and not have to worry about things just changing all the time. Josh says, IRS isn't going anywhere. They collect $20 trillion in revenue annually. Well, we'll find out, I guess, right? Frank says, I'm a newish seller, and your community here is what got me into selling. Well, that's awesome. So good on you guys. And for whatever reason, this is not even showing me the sounds anymore. But good on you guys for, here it is. Good on you guys for helping me to inspire people. It's just cool to have new sellers pop in and say, thank you for the information. And it's sort of like, I kind of equate it to having a coworker. It's like, it can be very, very lonely to do reselling with nobody here. And real quick, I do have an offer, and I'm going to break my, yeah, you're going to have that. This is a sale. A $50 item, they want to give me $46, so take it. That's a sale. We'll take it. Flipping from the trailer says, was it slow for everyone this week? If so, it would make me feel better that it wasn't just me. Slower than normal, I'd say. Slower than normal. I think it's been slow for many of us, says Ping. Yes. Josh has also said that it's been slow for him. And Baskin Noodle says, the more the news cycles pour out the stress, the more consumers will hold back. Always that way. But here's some good news. I have sold more shower shitters the last 2 weeks than I have in the past 3 or 4 months. To the point where we're down to 14 out of the 40 some odd that we had. So hopefully it's one of those things. I'm not going to buy anymore, by the way. Those are just tying up too much space. But hopefully we can get those out of here and done, and clear out some space in my storage. I'm making trips constantly to the storage unit to go pull out more. Paul says, I'm dipping out early tonight. Well, midnight anyway. We'll watch the rest on catch up. Have a great weekend, everyone. Well, my friend Paul, thank you for being here. Always nice to see you. And this is probably not going to be the longest live stream because of a number of things. I had a lot of stuff to go over with you on this live. Trying to bring more stuff that we can talk about rather than just talking about taxes and stuff. I think I might be able to pull this up, but the problem is, and I know that like Rockstar Flipper did a video on it, but the problem is I can't show you my screen because you won't be able to hear me. But USPS is going to have a rate increase on their shipping. Now, it's no surprise to me. It's supposed to take effect July 13th, and I don't have the exact numbers. I have, it says proposed, but I'll try to make a video on that. But expect during the summer, for many, you have the summer slowdown, and we'll get to that in a second. We have some time to get ready for it. So just know it's coming. If you use USPS like most of us do, there's going to be a price increase. Hopefully it's not that big of an increase, but I got to do some homework. I had all the information in front of me before the show, and I lost it when I had to reboot, so I apologize for that. And what I wanted to mention was something that I was talking about on tomorrow's PPP, but I'll put it out here. I really think that the notion of a summer slowdown it's not real. Now, maybe for some categories, but I think the summer slowdown has a direct, it's directly tied into the seller and the fact that maybe during the summer we are less focused on our business and are focused on vacations, spending time with family, kids are out of school. It's nice outside, so we're out and about more so than we are any other time of the year. And that may explain why I don't experience a summer slowdown, because it's so damn hot here in Vegas that there's nothing to do. I can work in the garage with my AC going, but I'm working more than any other time of the year because I'm just staying at home. There's nowhere to go that's going to give me relief from this heat. So what want you guys think about that? Real Timeless Vintage says, nope, I'm not in China. I ship with EMS Express. It should be fast, no taxes at all. Hope it won't be changed. I know you're not in China, Bear, but your competition is in China, pretending to be from Japan so they can avoid, or they can show that they're selling from Japan without 145% tariffs or whatever it is. I don't even know how that works if you're selling into the U.S. Keith says, don't use minifigures, it will flag up. Not sure what you mean by that. Derek says, this week I had 5 sales. 4 of them were good sales, $30-ish profit. Had 5 sales last week too. Seeing a trend here. Yeah, keep going. Keep pushing forward. Big Dre ships out a Nerf gun today. 0 sales past couple days. Sorry to hear that. Andy says, hey FA family, what's going on? I think I'm first. I'm going to go back and hit it from the start so you guys have a great weekend. Well, Andy, this wasn't my best live stream. And if you get to this point, I thank you for sticking with me. Appreciate it. TikTok says, Timu items came in 3 days. They have local warehouses now. All items work and good so far until those warehouses run out of stock. And then that's going to be an issue. Bear says, John, the cheapest shipping cost from Japan is $17 up to 1 pound. 2 pounds is $27. So Chinese sellers sells from China with Japanese address. Yes, but that example that I gave you where they sold that Winnie the Pooh, I think it was a popcorn holder. It wasn't small. It had to be at least over a pound after it was boxed up and everything. How do you make money? I mean, how does it even worth the while to do that? Gutted 08, nice to see you. If you use the word minifig or minifigure in your listing, could be it. Could be the problem that you were having, I guess, with that takedown. Chastity, sounds like it's time to reevaluate the shipping policies. It's always a good idea to see how a price increase affects your shipping. When Ground Advantage launched about 2 years, I think it's been about 2 years now, 2 years ago, it really changed the amount of packages we ship via FedEx, to the point where, I mean, I had to put a sign out. We had 6 packages that went out this morning and none were FedEx, so I had to tell them nothing. I mean, usually they have maybe 2 packages, maybe 3 packages a day that FedEx is picking up. Some days are 0, and it used to be, heck, no less than 5 or 6 people were the FedEx was picking up. So maybe that it's not even worth paying for the pickup anymore. I'm doing $4 a day. And what I've noticed also is my FedEx discount that I thought was so great, as compared to what eBay's giving me on FedEx, I'm getting 70 to 75% off rates on eBay for FedEx labels, and it's just, I can't, my negotiated rate is nowhere near that. So it may not even be worth having an account directly through FedEx anymore. I don't know. I know that I'm not using it at the volume that they were expecting me to. They're expecting me to grow my business and use more FedEx, but it's because of USPS. It doesn't make sense. If I can ship a package for $20 versus $30, I'm going to do it. I don't care what the carrier is. Ping says, I don't use shipping policies, just calculated shipping. I use shipping, calculated shipping with my shipping policies. So I don't know how you have it set up, but my calculated shipping, I have a policy for Ground Advantage. I have a policy for FedEx Ground. I have a policy that has Ground Advantage first and FedEx second. It gives the buyer those options, but it shows the buyer the Ground Advantage first. I think that's maybe a little bit better. And I have it flipped. I have another policy where FedEx is first and Ground Advantage is shown second to the buyer. Basket Noodle says, I flat rate shipping being on East Coast, price against the Heartland. And I know, like Beard, he has his rate tables and all that. I haven't gone into that. Maybe something I should make a video on. But to me, the calculated works great. Basket Noodle says, make a few dollars East Coast, Heartland, break even, West Coast, lose a little, averages out. I think if you're a reseller, the best place to be is in the middle of the country. Like James Helferstay, he's in like Missouri, so he can ship it to the East Coast and the West Coast without it being crazy for him. Chastity says, East Coast here, 2 Basket Noodle, found that a flat shipping rate based on region makes my listing much more competitive. And that's the key too. How do you stay competitive? And you know, you'll find that some of your items, if you have too high a shipping, just won't sell until you figure a way to get that lower for the buyer. Basket Noodle says, ping, the problem is there is much variance coast to coast, can lose potential orders due to shipping extremes. Let me ask you guys about that. And I was going to make a video about this, but I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. I am seriously debating turning off all shipments to Puerto Rico. Great people. I'd love to visit one day, but there's a couple problems. Number one, the language barrier. So you get always messages in Spanish. Now I know eBay has recently set it up to where if you're looking at it on the app, you can see what they're saying in English, which is very, very helpful, by the way. You don't have to go through all the translate thing. But I've noticed that, man, I get more returns from Puerto Rico than I ever have, and I am getting more people wanting to, where's my item? It's like, well, we just shipped it 3 days ago. It does take a little longer to get it to Puerto Rico, and it does seem to take too long to get to Puerto Rico, if I'm being honest. I just feel like it's a trade-off. I'm getting more buyers, of course, but I minimize the headaches if I eliminate it. So something I've been thinking about. Maybe you guys can tell me what you think in the chat or the comments. Richard says, what's the best way to resolve a false counterfeit claim on eBay? As a seller, there's not a real way to win that battle. I hate to say. Like I had a counterfeit claim on a pair of iPods. I know they weren't counterfeit. I've sold too many, AirPods, not iPods, AirPods. And I've sold too many over the years to know the difference between a knockoff and what's real. Someone reported it, had to have been, and you just gotta list it somewhere else. So I went in, took those AirPods, put them on Mercari, and I didn't sell them for as much as I wanted to, but I still was able to sell them without any issues. They got them, they were happy. I'm sure it. In my case, somebody reported me. They thought my AirPods were fakes. Don't know why, but I had no recourse. Basket Notes says pretty much everything I have is 4 ounces to 2 pounds. So you're pretty much a Ground Advantage shipper all day long. Chastity uses rate tables, rarely lose money, usually make just a little to cover shipping supplies. And what I do the calculated plus $1. And if it's a larger item like the FedEx policy, we'll do calculated plus $2. And it's never been an issue. It allows me to sort of offset. Some of these labels are $30, $40 or more. Helps me offset the fees that I have to pay on the price of the label by charging that handling fee. Pink says most of the items I currently sell weigh less than 2 pounds. I give the buyer my discount and add $1 to cover cost of packaging. And you could put it towards the cost of packaging too, I guess. Big Dre's going to go sourcing after this. Awesome. I might do a little online sourcing after this as well. Baskerville had Puerto Rico shut off a long time ago, just too painful. It is, and I don't know, the language barrier, they're not reading the listings. It's already bad enough, the U.S. sellers, they don't bother to read the listings. But if you have things pretty clear and they're still not reading the listings, I don't know what's happening. It's just, for me, like somebody bought a stereo from Puerto Rico. And in the listing it was clear, the particular model vehicle, they had the premium version of the car, like the whatever version of that particular car. And it stated clearly that it's not for this model, but they bought it anyway, and they're complaining at me that it don't fit. Well, I can't help you there. I mean, we took the return, but, you know, how do you avoid that? Yeah, you don't want to relist if you get dinged. Yeah, you get dinged, it's a problem. And so what's weird, I have this, like about a dozen of these police patches left. And I've listed them, not had any takedown issues. I've been selling them pretty decently. Yet I list this one. There's nothing. This is a vintage one. I list this one, and immediately, before it even allows the listing to launch, it flags it and says, cannot list this type of item. Do not relist. Okay, so I stopped listing. But I'm making sales on my other police patches. I don't know what triggered this patch to give me that warning when others were just fine. Pink says, if you're on the East Coast, shipping to Puerto Rico using USPS shouldn't be painful. Yeah, for me here on the West Coast it is. Let's see. And they're very reasonable when he's shipping. But I think it's more the headaches that he's experiencing with Puerto Rico more than anything else. Baskin says, geez, Glen Cove, New York, land of 10,000 collection agencies. Maybe that's it. Maybe this is, maybe a collection agent flagged this. I don't know. So guys, I want to thank you for putting up with not my best today, and just a comedy of errors going on, and things will improve. I promise you that. It's certainly something that I try to pride myself to try to put together decent content, and today didn't meet those standards. So I apologize to each and every one of you, and thank you for those who brighten my day in two ways. One, by being here, and the super chats were not expected, nor were they warranted, but you guys came through with it. So I certainly appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. We only have a few days left for taxes, guys, and it's time to get your stuff together. If you're procrastinating, and get it done, spend the time. That way you don't have to worry about filing extensions or anything like that. But getting it all worked out on the financial side with your taxes is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. Want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you again on Monday's Live, and I promise you that things will be much better on that one. So take care, everyone.
Setbacks, returns and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're a pain, what can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more